Dealer auctions. Oh, the world of dealer auctions. I know you might be obtaining a dealer's license for the sole purpose of attending dealer-only auctions. If you've never been to a dealer auction, you are in for a totally new experience. Dealer auctions can be a very fun environment, but they can also be very costly if not approached correctly. Before we discuss dealer auctions, I want you to be aware that if you watch till the very end of this video, I'm going to show you how to access a link that will allow you to get your dealer's license in your state as quick as possible so you can start buying vehicles at cheap wholesale prices at dealer auctions and sell them at high retail prices. So I'll break down your state's licensing steps, show you how to get the cheapest dealer surety bonds and insurance, and introduce you to software that'll run your new business with a couple clicks of the mouse. Getting your dealer's license is probably much easier than you think, and I will show you how at the very end of this video. There are several different dealer auctions. Manheim's the largest wholesale dealer auction network in the world, and they've got thousands of vehicles that weekly go through in-person and online sales. Manheim's known for its large scale, its very high levels of technology, and their inspection services as well. It's a great go-to for dealer auctions for dealers nationwide. ADESA OpenLane is another great dealer auction. They specialize in digital and physical auctions, so you can buy your vehicles in lane or online. And they've got several options for transportation, inspection, financing. It makes it a real strong choice for you when you get your dealer license. There's also IAAI, which is insurance auto auctions. IAAI focuses on salvage, damaged, and total loss vehicles that are sourced from insurance companies, rental fleets, and finance firms. It's really ideal for dealers who are going to specialize in rebuilds or parts or budget-friendly cars. There's also ACV Auctions. ACV is a fully digital auction platform where dealers can buy and sell vehicles using ACV's mobile app technology. They do not have physical locations. They are entirely online, but they do have detailed condition reports and live auctions as well. CarMax holds exclusive dealer auctions now, and they feature vehicles that are sourced from their retail lots. They are known for their as-is sales, but CarMax Auctions move inventory very quickly, but it's definitely a resource for you to build your inventory once you get your dealer's license. Now, there are also the great small locally owned dealer auctions. Independent local auctions provide a real community-based alternative with a lot fewer buyers. They kind of tend to have a little bit more personal service, and they have the chance to find deals without the competition of the large nationwide dealer auction platforms. Your small locally owned dealer auction is really a foundation of the industry, and they may not have the technology that you see like with Manheim or ADESA, but they're going to have many local vehicles that are not available at large auctions like local trade-ins. I've found they tend to have much less competition with a smaller amount of other bidding dealers than you're going to find at a nationwide dealer auction. I frequent a local dealer auction that sometimes may only have 20 or 25 bidding dealers on a light evening auction. They tend to have less inventory as well, but you should never ignore a small locally owned dealer auction. They can be a great resource for you to increase your inventory. Rental car companies now, like Hertz and Enterprise, are holding auctions specifically for licensed motor vehicle dealers. Hertz has become a little more aggressive lately in an attempt to market rental returns directly to dealers. In fact, they're even marketing vehicles that are not necessarily rental returns, but vehicles that are currently being rented. So if you need to find the exact late model vehicle that you're looking for, they'll take it out of their inventory and sell it to you. So you can basically find any vehicle. When you get your dealer license, I think you'll probably want to consider Hertz as a way to increase your inventory. Now, when you arrive at your first dealer auction for the first time, there's some things that you're going to need to bring. You're going to need to bring a photograph ID. You got to have a copy of your dealer's license because you will not go into a dealer's auction without your dealer's license. So, some auctions might even require that you bring a letter from your bank that states that your checks are going to be honored for like $25,000 or $50,000 or higher, depending on the relationship with your bank. Now, if you have a floor plan, then obviously that's not going to be required. They're probably going to ask you to sign what's called a power of attorney. The power of attorney is going to allow that dealer auction to sign a title for your dealership on your behalf if you're not available when that vehicle is sold through the dealer auction. So this basically grants the dealer auction the rights to sign and complete the odometer information that's required by federal law on the back of most titles. And this is a great service to dealers, so it doesn't require you to be present when the cars in your inventory are being auctioned. So you can drop off a vehicle at the dealer auction maybe a week before the sale, and you can stay on your lot and conduct retail sales activity while the auction handles your wholesale transaction. And this basically allows the auction staff to take care of your wholesale transactions for you while you're away. I also want to let you know about Auction Access ID. An Auction Access ID will allow you quick entrance to over 400 dealer auctions. It also allows you to bid for vehicles online at these auctions, and a lot of dealer auctions will actually help you obtain that Auction Access ID. But the easiest way, in my opinion, is just go to the auctionaccess.com website to get your Auction Access ID. I've got another entire video that covers that process extensively on how to get your Auction Access ID. And if you watch till the very end of this video, I'll link my Auction Access ID video at the end of this video. So please watch till the end of this video for that. An Auction Access ID is basically a QR code that you put on your phone, and it is basically your key to every dealer auction in the United States and even several dealer auctions up in Canada. So your Auction Access ID allows you to access all these auctions. Right now, at the time this video is being produced, they are charging $103 a year to get your Auction Access ID, but you're going to find it a very valuable tool that will allow you to access all the dealer auctions, and it will do it in a much quicker, expedited manner. So please watch to the end of this video. I'll show you how to get your Auction Access ID. Now, when you obtain your dealer's licenses, the dealer auctions are going to welcome you with open arms because as a licensed motor vehicle dealer, you are going to drive their business. They're going to contact you to let you know about certain types of upcoming auctions, dealer specials, maybe some discount days. They want you at that dealer auction as much as possible. The more dealers at an auction, the more cars are sold, which means higher profits for the dealer auction. Now, all auctions are free to attend for licensed motor vehicle dealers, but you are going to be required to pay buyer's fees every time you buy a vehicle and seller's fees every time you sell a vehicle. Now, different dealer auctions have different fee structures, with some charging flat rates and others a percentage of the winning bid. Fees are often tied to the sales price of the vehicle, with higher priced vehicles sometimes incurring higher fees or a percentage-based fees. Most dealer auctions charge anywhere from $200 to $500 for most vehicles that are bought or sold under $10,000. Your charges can be much higher when you're purchasing or selling highline vehicles, which might sell for like $50,000 or $75,000 or more. Be sure to ask the dealer auction for a cost overview sheet to find out the exact charges for any vehicles before bidding on your very first vehicle. The most accurate and up-to-date information on current fees will usually be found on the official dealer auction website. Now, a dealer auction runs vehicles through several lanes. You're probably aware of this, but there are small auctions, there are large auctions. You might have a local auction that only has 2 or 3 lanes. Each lane at dealer auctions usually has a specific type of vehicle that's running through that specific lane. One lane might be for new car trade-ins. Another lane might be for lease returns that day, and another lane might be dedicated to vehicles with high mileage that are going to be sold as is. Now, most large cities in the United States have giant dealer auctions with 20 or 30 or more lanes that run at the same time. These larger auctions have dedicated lanes as well, so you might have one lane that has new car trade-ins, you might have one lane that has lease returns, you might have one lane for the high-line vehicles over $75,000, you might have one lane for power sports, you might have one lane for recreational vehicles, one lane for classic or historic vehicles, then you got another lane next to it with commercial vehicles, and then you have agricultural equipment and commercial equipment in another lane. So they might have even one lane that has vehicles for less than $4,000 that are as is. In your dealer auctions, you're going to find limousines, you're going to find tractors, semi-trucks, lawnmowers, go-karts, tow trucks. I've seen ambulances. Just about anything that has wheels will go through a dealer auction every once in a while. So these large dealer auctions, they're really amazing. Some of them sell 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 cars or vehicles in a single day. So having your dealer's license is going to allow you to gain access to these incredible dealer auctions that exist only to support the dealership industry. These auctions are really your doorway to unlimited profits. So you've gained access to your first auction. What are you going to do next? Are you going to go into your first auction and buy 7 or 8 vehicles to put on your lot on the first auction? No, absolutely not. I never recommend purchasing a vehicle at your first dealer auction. I recommend that you go to your first few dealer auctions for observation purposes only and to find out how auctions work. I recommend that you go to 4 or 5 auctions before you bid on your first vehicle, because you're going to have a good idea of what vehicles are selling for. You never want to assume a vehicle is worth a certain amount just by your gut instinct. And this is a mistake that I made in my first couple of dealer auctions. Specifically, my first dealer auction, I remember going through thinking I'd see a vehicle that was getting ready to sell for $5,000. And I'd think, well, you know what? I'm going to buy this for $5,000. I'm sure somebody will give me $7,500 for it. And I'd buy it for $5,000, bring it back to my lot and see the dealer across the street that had 7 or 8 of them that they couldn't sell for, say, for example, $3,500 a piece. So I made that huge mistake by winging it on vehicle pricing, which is a huge mistake that I want to make sure that you never make. You need to know exactly what vehicles are selling for wholesale, okay? And overbuying, paying too much at dealer auctions happens very frequently to inexperienced dealers. And you need to avoid that very common mistake. You never want to bid on a vehicle when you're unsure of the wholesale value. No matter how much your heart's beating, no matter how much your adrenaline's flowing at that first dealer auction or the second or third one, whichever one you're bidding, your heart will be beating and your adrenaline's going to be flowing when you're making your bids. But always remember, by raising your hand and placing a bid, you are obligated to purchase that vehicle from the dealer auction. So failure to follow through on a bid can actually get you banned at some dealer auctions. So when you bid and raise that hand, you need to be ready to purchase and follow through. The greatest way to make money in this business is to gain as much knowledge about vehicle wholesale pricing as you possibly can. So you need to know prior wholesale values on every vehicle. So before you place your first bid, you're going to need to research wholesale prices, and you're going to have access to several pricing guides. And so with that being said, you're going to have access to NADA Black Book. One of the most accurate ways to find out a vehicle pricing is with Manheim's Market Report. So Black Book, MMR, which is Manheim Market Report, are actual vehicle prices that are based on nationwide auction sales reports from the previous week. So they're up to date and they're very, very accurate. Now you can go to Black Book USA and get one of their accounts as well. And you can even download these on your phone, which is very, very handy at a dealer auction. So when a vehicle's coming through the lane, you can take your phone and go take a picture of the VIN through the windshield, and it's going to look up that specific vehicle, and it'll tell you, say, for example, how much that vehicle sold for last week. So it might say something like, okay, this is a VIN to a 2008 Toyota Camry, and last week, 2008 Toyota Camrys were selling for $5,000 wholesale. Well, that's pretty close to what you want to give this week. If they were selling for $5,000 last week, and this week they're selling for $7,000, I'm not buying any Camrys this week. But if they're selling for $5,000 last week and this week they're going for $3,000, well, then I might pick up a couple of those. So the apps are going to show you last week's wholesale averages, this week's predicted wholesale average, and your expected retail markup. So, services like Black Book, they've got different categories. So you can find used car values, used truck values, motorcycles, commercial vehicles. They even have aviation pricing if that's what you're into. So you can get a subscription to Black Book. You can use MMR for free. And you can always have those on your iPad or your iPhone. And it's really going to help you learn wholesale prices. They're based on millions of transactions from dealer auctions throughout the United States. So those algorithms will really analyze the region as well. So you can easily download MMR or Black Book, and they'll access all the information from all those pricing guides. Now, with that being said, I also want you to be aware that at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you how to access a software program that combines all those vehicle pricing guides in one program. So hopefully that'll help you. Now, you also want to know what prices are going for in certain areas, because there could be one certain area of the country, say the western part of the United States, where vehicles are selling for thousands less than they are in the south or the east, or vice versa. So knowing geographical wholesale prices will allow you to purchase vehicles in other parts of the country for minimum cost and resell them at higher prices in hotter markets. So say, for example, being a pricing knowledge, you might find out that four-wheel drive pickup trucks are selling very cheap at the Miami dealer auctions, but they're selling very high at the Denver, Colorado dealer auction. So you might want to buy 10 four-wheel drives at the Miami dealer auction and have them shipped up to the Denver auctions next week. It can be a great way by knowing where the hot markets are. So vehicle pricing based on geographic area is one of the best ways to make money in your new business. And your knowledge of vehicle pricing is a very powerful tool that's going to help you achieve huge profits with your dealer's license. Now, there's also online bidding that you're going to become aware of very soon. Now, you can bid on vehicles all over the country easily by conducting online bidding. Almost all dealer auctions now offer some type of online bidding to us as a service to dealers across the country. So you're going to be able to view an auction's entire inventory in advance. Then you can bid on that vehicle real time, or you can even put in a maximum bid that takes place before the auction takes place. So you can put in a maximum bid and then go do your thing, and you'll know whether or not you've gotten that bid when the auction's over. Now, you can also do it through the live bidding. So what happens when you do place a bid online? If you get the bid, you are required to pay for that vehicle either by wire transfer, or if you want to, you can pay for it with a credit card. And you're always given a choice of very helpful shippers that will deliver the vehicles that you purchase online to your dealership, usually within 2 to 3 days or less. So almost all dealer auctions will have a button where you can easily pay for the shipping as well. Now, if you're at a physical dealer auction in lane, these shippers are going to be standing by at the auction. You'll see them all over the place with their trucks and their trailers, and they'll give you an easy quote. But usually you can get your quotes right through the dealer auction. So shipping vehicles to dealers is a huge business. It can be very competitive. So you might want to get a couple of quotes if you are doing manual shipping to get those delivered. But I always recommend just, trusting the auction or the auction websites to help you find the best price to have that vehicle delivered. Now, one downside to online bidding is you're not going to be able to physically check out those vehicles before the dealer auction. So I always recommend that if you go to a dealer auction on the day of the sale or before the auction date, you can really kick those tires. And just remember, if you are the winning dealer, then many auctions offer what's called a post-auction inspection. And there's also pre-auction inspections as well. So we are definitely going to talk about those in just a moment. But with that being said, when you have your dealer license, you're also going to you'll be able to have access to what's called the Online Vehicle Exchange, or OVE. OVE is operated by Manheim. It's an online wholesale automotive marketplace exclusively for licensed motor vehicle dealers. It is not accessible by the general public. So it allows you as a dealer to buy, sell, and manage your vehicle inventory around the clock. So you're going to be able to connect with other dealers. You'll be able to connect with fleets and manufacturers. And OVE provides a detailed condition report. It has a lot of different various purchase options, like you can either buy now, you can place a bid on transactions as well. You should be able to find any vehicle for any customer on OVE. So say, for example, you've got a customer that comes into your dealership, and they might say that, they want a 2020 Toyota Tacoma. It's got to be a blue four-wheel drive, and unfortunately you don't have any. Well, you can get on OVE and probably find 20 or 30 of them in about 15 to 20 seconds. You can actually show the customer the actual vehicle that they're going to be buying. You can hide the price on OVE, and you can figure it out what it's going to cost to get it delivered and put your profits on top of that. So with tools like OVE, you can find any vehicle for any customer, no matter what vehicle that customer is looking for. Now, it's a little bit different when you're bidding in person at an auction or in lane. I recommend that you go to the auction as early as possible on the day of the auction or maybe before the auction. All auctions are going to allow you to preview inventory prior to the auction taking place, but you got to be a dealer, obviously, to get in the door, so please keep that in mind. Great time to kick the tires, start the vehicle, check the fluids, check the interior. I always recommend investing in a good vehicle diagnostic reader. A vehicle diagnostic reader is that little tool that connects to the vehicle's onboard diagnostics, usually right under the steering wheel, and it's going to analyze any diagnostic codes, from the engine, transmission, and all other systems. Now, these vehicle diagnostic readers, they range from basic to advanced, but they're really going to help you monitor for any emission issues and anything like that. It's going to give you a general insight into that vehicle's health and what type of repairs and maintenance that you might have to do on that. I have another vehicle that covers vehicle diagnostic readers extensively, and if you watch till the end of this training video, then you'll be able to see my playlist that has all my other videos as well. So please watch to the end of this video for that. Now, you're not going to be able to allow these to drive these vehicles, but you can certainly start it, place it into gear, check out the transmission and things like that. So do please keep that in mind. One of the most important things I want to discuss with you is you need to have a top bidding price that you're willing to bid on any vehicle before the vehicle goes through the lane. Okay, I strongly advise you to always write down your maximum bidding price before the auction starts, and always stick to that price no matter what. Stay with that price and never go above it. No matter how tempting, if you place a bid above your maximum, then you are going against the written rules, and no matter what, there could be another dealer that maybe gets the bid with one more than you, but don't be upset because you have a dealer's license and, there's going to be 1,000 other vehicles that are going to be coming through those lanes. But, if you do ever get in a continued bidding war with another dealer because you want a vehicle, it can drive that price up by hundreds or thousands of dollars. So you never want to let your emotions take over at a dealer auction. Your adrenaline's going to be flowing, your heart's going to be racing. You never want to go above the top bidding price that you have written down. And don't worry, if you don't get that, you'll get the next one. So there are thousands of more vehicles just like that. You got a dealer's license, you're going to have access to an incredible amount of vehicles. So just be patient. Don't go above your maximum price, and just keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, you want to make sure you have your funds available for the checks that you're writing, or maybe you got a floor plan with that dealer auction. When you are ready to place your first bid, write that bid down. I always recommend getting as close as you can to the dealer auction, to the dealer auctioneer, because dealer auctions are a very big, exciting, and noisy environment. So there's a chance you may not be able to hear what the auctioneer is saying. So I strongly recommend that you get up as close as you can to hear them. And now also make sure and pay attention to that big TV screen behind the auctioneer, because there's going to be a lot of great, valuable information on that screen as well. But, I do also want you to be aware that when you raise your hand and you win that bid, that is a contract with that auction. So you have to buy that vehicle. And I do want you to be aware, if you're bidding on vehicles and you get the actual bid and don't buy the vehicle, then auctioneers will possibly ban you. So do please keep that in mind, okay? Now, once you've obtained, if you are the winning bidder, you're going to throw up your bidding pass and they're going to write down your number, and then you'll go to the auctioneer stand and sign the paperwork, and you'll be able to take that vehicle with you that day. Now, auction guarantees. Most dealer auctions offer what's known as a ride and drive guarantee, but they are limited and very specific. Each dealer auction has its own set of rules and what type of items that are covered. So unlike buying from a retail dealership, which you may have done in the past, most auctions vehicles, most of them are sold as is and guarantee only certain under condition guarantees. So a ride and drive at a dealer auction refers to a limited powertrain guarantee that's usually good for a short specified period after the sale, like usually just the remainder of that business day or until the vehicle is actually moved off the lot. Most vehicles, especially the ones with over 100,000 miles, have no guarantee whatsoever. So be especially careful on bidding vehicles that are over like 100,000 miles. If you are the bidding dealer on over a vehicle with over 100,000 miles, the vehicle is yours no matter what. So that means any hidden mechanical problems are going to have to be dealt with. So be sure to find out what type of guarantee is being offered on that vehicle auction before you bid on a vehicle. It's very important to realize what auction lights are. Most dealer auctions commonly use a colored light system to indicate a vehicle's condition, especially in live inline sales. This system provides a real fast, standardized summary of key information, which is essential for this quick-paced dealer auction environment. So most major dealer auctions like Manheim ADESA, they relied on this lighting system for both their physical and their online auctions. So you might either see a physical colored light right next to the auctioneer, but in most cases you're going to see the light on the screen behind the auctioneer. If you're bidding on vehicles online, you'll usually see the light at the very top right corner of your screen. And the lighting system indicates 4 colors that indicate very important information about the vehicle that you're getting ready to bid on. You have green light, yellow light, red light, and blue light. Green light. Green light means ride and drive. The vehicle is generally free of major known defects and is covered by the auction's standard arbitration policy. It's going to cover major mechanical components like the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain. They're guaranteed to be in good working order. There are some limitations because that guarantee is not absolute. Many dealer auctions have exclusions for vehicles below a certain price or above a certain mileage. So please keep that in mind on all green lights. Now, yellow light means limited guarantee, or there are announcements being made. The auctioneer will make specific announcements about disclosed conditions or issues, which are then not covered by the arbitration policy. So this light's often used in combination with a green or a red light to signal that a vehicle has a specific disclosed issue, such as maybe some frame damage. So your auctioneer might be saying something like, hey, we got frame on this one, or hey, we got unibody on this one, we got unibody on this one. That's going to follow under a yellow light. Now, it's going to be your responsibility to really listen to those announced conditions before the bidding, as they cannot seek arbitration later on for a specific problem. Okay, so if the auctioneer announces that it's got front left end, and then you say, oh, well, hold on a second, I bought this car, it's got some front left end on it, then you'd have no recourse. So make sure and listen to those announcements. Now let's talk about red light. Red light means as is. The vehicle's being sold without any mechanical guarantees. What you see is what you get, and the purchase cannot typically be arbitrated for defects. So buyer beware on that. Now, red light vehicles are a higher risk for the buyer and often have major or unknown issues. Now, there are going to be some limited exceptions. Even red light vehicles may qualify for arbitration under very specific rules, such as if it's stated the title was correct, and then all of a sudden you find out it's got a brand, or maybe you found out you heard that the odometer was correct, but then it has odometer discrepancy. So there are some rare scenarios that you could be able to go into arbitration under a red light. A blue light means title absent. Now, the vehicle's title is usually not present at the time of the sale. A lot of times when you buy a vehicle at a dealer auction, you may not get the title that day because that title could be at a third-party lender, or there could be another dealership in another area of the country selling all their vehicles through your local dealer auction, and they'll mail the title in a couple of days. Now, with that being said, when you buy a vehicle on blue light and the title's not there, many states require that you wait till you get the title in your hand before you can resell it. But no matter what, when you're waiting on a title from the dealer auction, I strongly encourage you to not invest a single penny into that vehicle until you got the title. If for some reason you didn't get that title and you have to take that vehicle back to the dealer auction to get your money back, then you haven't put any more money into that. I also recommend that you don't sell the vehicle until you have that title in your hand. I mean, there are states that will allow you to do that, but if you did take a trade on that vehicle, make sure and hang on that trade in case you have to do an exchange. So be very sure that you pay close attention to the lights on any vehicle before you bid on that vehicle. Next, I want to cover auction inspections. You need to be aware that most dealer auctions have what's called a pre-auction inspection and a post-auction inspection. A pre-auction inspection is usually conducted by the dealer auction or sometimes by private contractors and takes place before the auction, and that's why it's called a pre-auction inspection. Now, a post-auction inspection is quite a bit different, and it takes place after the auction. That's why it's called a post-auction inspection. A pre-auction inspection happens before the vehicle runs through the dealer auction lane, and it gives you more confidence when you're bidding. So some auctions like Manheim and ADESA, they provide these pre-auction inspections where mechanics will inspect the vehicle, make sure the engine and transmission is operational and the odometer reading is correct, and covers any major mechanical functions. Manheim has what's called a condition report that is generated by certified inspectors, and they provide some really high quality diagnostic information and let you know about the physical and mechanical condition of a vehicle before it's sold. So Manheim has certified as well, which is an additional inspection. So if you watch till the end of this video, I cover the auction inspections extensively in another video. So if you watch till the very end of this playlist here, I'll have a playlist for you that shows those videos as well. ADESA also has several pre-auction inspection services for you. And you can even buy a post-auction inspection for a 7 or 14-day guarantee as well. Well, let's talk about those post-auction inspections. The post-auction inspection takes place after you buy the vehicle, and usually within a short time window, usually on the same day. So this protects you by verifying the car meets all announced conditions, such as no frame damage or no major undisclosed mechanical issues. So most dealer auctions will offer a post-auction inspection for an additional fee, and sometimes they're required on higher value vehicles. I made a huge mistake in one of my first dealer auctions. I thought I had kicked the tires pretty well on a vehicle that I was purchased, thought it was in good mechanical condition, bought the vehicle. A couple of days later, I started hearing some ticking in the engine, and I found out that it had a rod out. Now, if I would have bought that post-auction inspection, they would have found that out and I could have backed out of the sale. But I ended up spending $2,200 getting that vehicle replaced. So after that, no matter what, I'd always pay the additional post-auction inspection fee to make sure that I could back out if there were any major mechanical problems. I look at this as a small insurance policy, especially if you're, making significant investments of $8,000 or $9,000 wholesale or more than that. So I really believe that they are worth the investment, since they may be able to locate mechanical problems that you did not find during the pre-auction inspection. So many auctions will allow you to back out of the deal if the post-auction inspection finds repair estimates that are over $200 or $500. Sometimes, however, they will give the selling dealer the opportunity to make the repair, and you still might have to buy the vehicle. So be sure to check with your inspections. Your post-auction inspection is a very valuable service that I strongly encourage you. Now, you heard me mention arbitration. Arbitration ensures that vehicles are sold and they meet the auction's condition rules. So this can protect you. If, say, for example, you bought a vehicle and the description stated that the mileage was accurate, then all of a sudden you find out that the mileage was not accurate, you can go into arbitration, where the dealer auction will act as an intermediary between you, either the buying seller, or you and the selling dealer. So the arbitration is where the dealer auction acts as an intermediary, and it does hold sellers accountable. Now, with that being said, in my other portions of my courses that I talk about that reputation that you're going to have on your lot with customers. You are also going to have a reputation at your dealer auction. And what I mean by that, you can't sell vehicles at your dealer auction with mechanical defects that are not disclosed in the vehicle description. I have had personal instances where I'll go into a dealer auction. I might go out on the dealer auction lot and I'll check out 7 or 8 or 10 cars. I'll write down the VINs and I'll take them into a friend of mine at the dealer auction and I'll say, what do you know about the dealers that are selling these? And the dealer auction employees will look them up and say, don't buy from him, don't buy from her, don't buy from him. They're passing off junk and not putting vehicle mechanical defects in their descriptions. You can actually have dealer auction employees tell other dealers not to buy from you. So you want to make sure and give full disclosure on your vehicle descriptions when you're selling vehicles through the dealer auction lanes. You could get to the point where no other dealer will ever buy a vehicle from you at the dealer auctions. So if you do have a mechanical defect that you're aware of, make sure and put all of that in that vehicle description, so you have that great reputation not only on your dealer lot, but you're going to have that great reputation at the dealer auction as well. One thing I want you to be aware of about dealer auctions: every vehicle I've ever bought at a dealer auction needed a little bit of an investment after the dealer auction. I always plan on putting $200 or $300 or $400 into any vehicle that I purchased at a dealer auction, whether it need tires, maybe it needed a new battery, maybe just needed a good reconditioning or something like that. So I always plan on spending a little bit of money on any vehicle that I have purchased at a dealer auction. So you want to figure that into your bidding. Now, if you buy a vehicle that's frontline retail ready and just ready to take from the dealer auction to your front line, you pay a little bit more for those vehicles normally. And then dealer auctions do have reconditioning services as well, where you can buy a vehicle and then just have them detail it for you. But I always expect to make a little bit of an investment. And I want you to be aware there are a lot of vehicles at dealer auctions that did not sell on other dealers' lots. And there's a reason they didn't sell. Maybe they got a mechanical defect, maybe they have a foul odor or something like that. I'm going to recommend you never buy a vehicle with a foul odor. You cannot sell a vehicle that stinks. You will take it back to the dealer auction, sell it for less than what you paid for it. I've had a couple of cars that stink, and it can be the perfect car for a customer, and when they get inside it and realize it has a very foul odor, they won't go near it. So please keep that in mind. Here's my tips for going into an auction. I always recommend that you go to several dealer auctions, observe several dealer auctions before you start placing your first bid. Always research wholesale pricing. You need to become a wholesale pricing expert in this industry. You need to know when to buy, but more importantly, you need to know when not to buy as well. Write down your maximum price and stick to that. Stay disciplined. Don't ever let your emotions control your bidding. Ask your auction about any type of guarantees or inspections. And remember, your bid is a binding contract. So when you raise that hand and you get the winning bid, you are going to be expected to buy that vehicle unless there are some major mechanical issues that were not disclosed during that auction. If you need to find a dealer auction, I want to make that as easy as possible for you. Just go to dealerslicense.com. That's my official website, dealerslicense.com. On any page, scroll down to where it says dealer auction, and you can type in your zip code and you can find a dealer auction near you. If you have any questions about how to get your dealer's license, I've broken it down for every single state. You can just go to dealerslicense.com, click on Get License. I've got detailed step-by-step instructions that will show you how to get your own dealer's license. It's probably a lot easier than what you think, and I've been helping entrepreneurs like you get their dealer's license for many, many years. So hopefully I'll make that possible for you. I'm going to show you how to get your bond. You're going to have to get a dealer surety bond, and I've built a quoting system that will evaluate your credit score and send your bond to the correct carrier based on your credit score. And I think this will get you the cheapest bond in the quickest time. So you can just scroll down and click on your state and get a free dealer surety bond quote. I do assume that it's going to help you get the cheapest dealer bond when that time comes. There are only a handful of companies that will insure someone that has never had a dealer's license. And I think I've found those companies in every state. If you click on insurance, you'll find one of my recommended insurance providers that will allow you to get your dealer insurance. It is going to be required by most states. I also want you to be aware of a software program that I have found that I do believe is the best in the business. It will run your entire business with a couple clicks of the mouse. It'll get loans for all your customers, helps you start a buy here, pay here dealership, orders titles and everything. It'll do everything for you. It's got a little bit of AI built in there, but I'm going to show you how to get a free trial and a $250 credit, which allows you to use that software program for about 5 months free of charge. So when you get your dealer's license, I strongly encourage you to go to dealerslicense.com and take a look at the software that I've evaluated for you. I also want you to be aware I do have several courses that are approved by states. So a lot of states actually have mandated training requirements. My courses that I have developed are approved by several states. So if you need a dealer course, you can go to dealerslicense.com and click on the courses button. If you found value in this video, I hope that you will click that like and subscribe button. And I want to wish you the very, very best of luck in obtaining your dealer's license and getting into dealer auctions. Thank you very much.